Jagdish sir, we can start now.
Yeah, okay. Yes, good evening all. Welcome to the GSTZen webinar. Just a second, I am sharing my presentation. So, is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes. Yes, good evening all. Thank you for participating in the GSTZen webinar on Invoice Management System. So, before going into the session, uh, we'll give you a brief about the GSTZen. GSTZen is an GST Suite provider and then ASP, Application Service Provider. It provides an GST solutions for the taxpayers as well as. So going on to the today's topic. So today's session will be more onto the practical part and how we can use the GSTZen software to comply with the IMS. And first we'll discuss about the what is IMS. We'll understand what the IMS is and how the workflow of IMS. And then we'll see how does the interface works, the IMS interface works, and then key FAQs one should know that we'll see at the end. At the end, our tech team, Nikhil, will walk us through how to use the GSTGen to comply with the IMS. So going on to the IMS, so what is the IMS? IMS is an invoice management system. This is a facility given by the GSTN for the taxpayer to manage invoices on the GST portal. So many people think that this IMS is only to manage the inward supplies to avail the ITC. The answer is no. This is for both to manage the outward and the inward supplies. So it allows to check and manage invoices uploaded by your suppliers. It is intended to improve invoice verification and reconciliation. So now with the introduction of IMS, you will have the better control over the invoices on which you are availing the ITC. Till date, you have a no clue on what reports you are availing ITC, like GS Tier 1. In GS Tier 1, you will have an idea on what invoices I am paying my outward liability. Whereas coming to the GS Tier 3B, you will have a no clue on what invoices I am availing ITC. So with the introduction of this IMS, now you will have a track on which invoices you are availing ITC in that period. So it increases the better transparency and also accountability between the supplier and the recipients. And also it also helps you to avoid mistakes and ensure you are claiming the correct input tax credit. Moving on to the next. Before understanding this IMS, first we will understand how the current scenario works, how the present system is working to avail the ITC. So as and when the GSTR1 is filed by my supplier, that is on or before 11th of the month, all those invoices will get transmitted to will travel to my GSTR 2B of the same period. If my supplier has not filed GSTR1 uh, on or before 11, if he, let's say if he filed on 13th or 14th, and those invoices will reflect in recipient to be in the next month. So let's say if he has filed on time, and those invoices will get reflected in the 2B, and from 2B it will be get auto populated in recipient GST 3B. So in GST 2B, you will have no option to take any action in the GST 2B. Okay. So all these are the static reports. You cannot take any action on the inward supply. Only uh, you can view the invoices what are all reported by your supplier. So this is how the current system is working. So now what GSTN has introduced IMS, Invoice Management System. Between your GSTR1 and GSTR2B, this IMS has been introduced. If you see here, stay a second. Yes. If you see here, as in when the supplier saves his record in the GSTR1. Earlier, under current scenario, under current system, only when your supplier files a GSTR1, then only it will be reflected in your 2B. But whereas in the IMS, as and when your supplier saves the record in the GSTR1, either by manual upload or in case of if we write e-invoice, it will be saved in the GSTR1 after 2 days, that is T plus 2 days. So as and when the record gets saved in the supplier GSTR1, it will be reflected in the IMS instantly. On real-time basis, it will be reflected in the IMS. So in the IMS, recipient will have an option to take the multiple action. Let's see each action wise. In the IMS, recipient either can accept it or reject it, or he can have an option to take no action on it, or else he can keep the record pending. So we'll see the how the ITC will change based upon his actions. Let's say if the recipient is rejected the record, then it will travel to my 2B under rejected category. It will go and sit in my rejected section in my 2B. So if we accept it, accepted, or if he has taken no action. In case of no action has been taken, it will be deemed to be accepted. Either he accepted or no action taken. In those two cases, records will get flowed to my GSTR to be as an accepted. If you keep it pending, it will remain in my IMS. It will not flow to my GSTR to be. Yes, it will not flow to my GST to be. This is how the IMS works. So in case if you reject the credit note, which your supplier has given to you, in that case, it will in that case that record the liability on that record will get added to your supplier GST 3B in the subsequent period. Let's say supplier has issued the credit note by reducing his liability, but you are not accepting that credit note because he has reduced his liability, but you are not accepting that credit note, and accordingly you are not reducing your liability. So there will be a loss to the revenue. So that's the reason what they are saying is, in case of credit note, if the recipient is not rejected, in that cases the liability will be get added to your supplier in the subsequent month. So if you see here, all the records, whatever the records are saved by your supplier or filed by your supplier, all will be traveled to the IMS, except the RCM, that is, all the inward supplies on which tax is payable under reversal and in all ineligible documents will flow to my GST to be. If you see here, the draft GST to be. Why I'm saying here is draft GST to be means. Just a second. Yes. Draft because this GST to be not final as long as you file your GST 3B. If you have not your GST to be is final if you have not taken any action, and this GST to be it also will get generated on 14th. So if you have taken any action post this 14th of the subsequent month, then in order to get the updated to be, you have to click on compute to be. Then only you will get the updated to be, and the updated details will get auto populated in your GST 3B. This is how the IMS works. The next slide we'll see the each action wise how ITC will get affected on each action wise. So now we'll see the journey of IMS. IMS is icon your inventory register. It will have an opening records that will be brought forward from my previous months. Let's say if you have kept a records pending in the previous month, those will be flow to the current period as an opening records. And then new records, whatever the records uploaded by your supplier, it will come and sit in your it will be like a credit. So you recipient will have an option to take action on the already pending records and the newly added records. if it has accepted or rejected, it will be moved out of your IMS. And if you kept pending any invoices, so those will be remain in your IMS only. So if you have taken any action, either let's say if you have accepted or rejected the opening records that is which are kept pending in the previous year, those records will be moved out of your IMS. Only those invoices which were marked as in pending will be in your IMS. So what are all the documents will not part of IMS will see in the later slides. So we'll see what happens to your input tax credit based upon your actions. If you accept the records in the IMS, it will be part your 2B in the available section. The same will be auto-populated in your 3B. If you reject it, it will also travel to your 2B, but will go and sit in your rejected section. And it will not be auto-populated in your GSTZen 3B. If you kept your records pending, in that case, it will be not form part of your 2B. It will remain in your IMS as long as you take action. You can take action in the future periods. And in the 3B, it will not form part of because it will not travel to 2B, and from 2B only figures will be traveled to my 3B. If you have not taken any action on your records, as I said in the earlier slides that if we have not taken any action, it will be deemed to be accepted. So the system will treat that record as an accepted, and it will be form part of my 2B. And from 2B, it will be traveled to my 3B. In 3B, it will be the same will be auto populated. Okay. So where can I find this invoice management system dashboard? The services tab under return section, you can find the this IMS dashboard. If you see here, there are two tiles. One is for the inward supplies and other is for the outward supplies. As I discussed in the first slide, that IMS is not only meant to manage the inward invoices. This is invoice management system is for both managing the both the inward supplies as well as the outward supplies. But as coming to the outward supplies, if you see here, the outward supplies, this dashboard is to view the status of outward supplies reported based on action taken by your recipient. That means you can see only the action taken by your recipient on your outward supplies. Whatever the supplies you reported in the GSTR1, you can see what type of action your recipient has taken. Only that you can do in the outward supply. Whereas in the inward supplies, you can take the action on your on inward supplies. So if you see the inward supplies interface, you can see here there are total 676 records. And these 676 records is further bifurcated into the multiple sections like B2B, B2C, like that. And if you go into the any other section, let's say we are going into the B2B section, you can see here, you can take either accepted, rejected, pending, or no action. You can take any action on this. Based upon this action, your 2B will be generated, and from 2B, invoices will get populated in your GSTZen 3B. So this is how we have to take the action in the IMS portal. If you are not using any software, you have to follow the procedure like this. If there are more than 500 invoices, you cannot view these invoices. You cannot view these invoices in the portal. You have to download the report, and you have to take the action offline, and again you have to come back to your portal and take the action each GST invoice. So always we advise you to use the software to take the action if you have the multiple invoices. So if you already, let's say if you have already taken action on some invoices, and now you want to reset all the actions what I have taken previously. So you will have an option of reset. You can see here the option reset. Once you click this reset by selecting the invoices on which you want to get reset. So on clicking this reset, all the action what you have taken will get uh, will go to the no action taken. All those records will get reset. So now we'll see how the records will flow in the IMS. So as I said earlier, all the accepted, deemed accepted, rejected records will move out of my IMS. So what will be there in my IMS? Only the invoices which I kept pending will there in my IMS. And the how long my pending records will be in my IMS? It will be in IMS as long as I take action subject to these records can be accepted or rejected in future, subject to the time limit provided in the section 16 subsection 4. That is what I mean. Uh, these records will be in IMS till 30th November of the subsequent year. As per section 16 subsection 4, I can avail ITC of the previous year up to 30th November 2024. So my previous year records will remain in my IMS till 30th November of the subsequent year. Till then, it will be carried forward to the future periods till I take an action on those. So draft to be. If I have not taken any action, how the current GST to be generating the same way to be will also be generated. So what my GST to draft GST to be include all the accepted records and no action taken records will be form part of my GST to be. And as I said earlier, recipient can take action or change action already taken on accepted invoice till the filing of GST. It means on 14 you have taken accepted. By now we are on, let's say we are on 19. If I want to reject it, yes, you can reject it. You can take any action till the date of filing of 3B. After filing 3B, you cannot change your action. So when my draft GST to be will be considered as my final GST to be, if we have not taken any action after the draft GST to be, which was generated on 14. In that case, your draft GST to be will be your final GST to be. So compute GST to be. This compute GST to be button will be activated only after 14 of the subsequent month. What is this compute GST to be? As I discussed in earlier that if I take any action post 14, when my draft GST will be generated on 14th of the subsequent month, right? I have take action after the 14. Let's say I have rejected 10 invoices on 15. Then what I have to do is I have to recompute GST to be. So you can see here the compute GST to be. On clicking here, your to be will be regenerated. I mean, by replacing those 10 records which I have rejected it, by removing those 10 records, my GST to be will be recomputed. What are the records I have rejected it? So whatever after generating this to be, based upon this only, my 3B will be these records will flow to my GST to be and will the same figures will get auto populated. Whatever the records I rejected, those will be removed from my GST 3B. So this is how the compute GST to be will work. Yes. So IMS supplier view. This is how the supplier view interface is. You can see here all the outward suppliers what he has reported in his GST F1. Only he can view these records, and if you can see here the rejected records. So if his recipient has rejected, so in that case, all those records, whatever the records rejected by his recipient, all those records will be shown here in this section. In this section. So if you go into this first section, that is what are all the invoices, you can see here. Yes. For the supplier, he can see what action his recipient has taken. If you see here the first invoice, you can see the status as an accepted. Whereas next two invoices, he has not taken any action. What it means? If he has not taken any action also, it is also deemed acceptance. It is deemed to be deemed accepted. Okay. Uh, so like this, the supplier can only view. He cannot take any action. Only he can view. Whereas for the inward supplies, he has an option to take an action. Whereas for the outward supplies, he can only view what action his recipient has taken. So moving on to the next slide. So now we'll see some FAQs. IMS is an GST to be now mandated than sequential generation. That is, only if you file the previous month GST 3B, then only your current 2B will be generated. Okay. Let's say if you have not filed your 3B even after 14th of the next month, let's say even after Jan 14, 2025, you have not filed your 3B. In that case, your 2B will not be generated. In that case, what I have to do is after filing your 3B, let's say you on Jan 15, you have filed your 3B, but your draft 2B will not be generated on the 14th because you have not filed your 3B in the previous month. So what you have to do is after filing your 3B, click on compute 2B in the IMS dashboard. So on clicking on that, then your draft 2B will be generated. So on generation of the draft 2B, your these invoices will be auto-populated in your GST 3B. So reset of record by your supplier. So if you're, let's say, if I have taken action on one invoices, but that is before filing out my GST one of my supplier. But by the time of filing GST one, he has edited that invoice or he has amended that invoice. In that case, whatever the action taken by recipient on that invoice will get reset. Okay, let's say on 7th of this month, we are on 12th, right? Let's say on 9th, I have taken accepted. I have taken action of accepted on record one. But at that yesterday, he has filed his return by removing or edited the document and filed his return. In that case, the action taken by me will get resetted. The similar way, if he delete that record, whatever record he posted it on 9th, he deleted at the time of filing return. In that case, that will be removed from my IMS. It will be moved out of IMS. It will not shown in my IMS dashboard. So whether all documents will be available in IMS? No, the answer is no. There are some records which will not be part of IMS, but they will go directly to my GST. Now we'll see what are all those records. RCM records, that is inward supplies on which we recipient has to pay the liability under reversal. That time barred ITC, that if any invoice which was reported after the 30th November, let's say 31st March 2024 invoice. Now I am reporting it in the month of the December month return. In that case, those invoices will not be form part of my IMS as well as in my 3B also. It will be shown in the 4D2 table. That is the ineligible ITC section. And ineligible ITC due to the place of supply rules. Let's say I belongs to Karnataka. I'm a recipient. I belongs to Karnataka. My registration is in Karnataka, but I received an invoice having a place of supply of Andhra Pradesh. In that case, it will be directly go to my 2B in the ineligible section, and then the same way in the 3B it will be shown in the table 4D2 as an ineligible ITC. And the ISGate document, that is the bill of entry documents, bill of entry in case of imports, those will also in that case also they will be directly go to my 2B and 3B, not pass through the IMS. And documents flowing from GSTR 5, that is the NRTP, non-residential taxable person, and GSTR 6, that is the input service distributor. In these two cases, um, invoices will directly flow to my GST to be documents where ITC to be reversed on account of Rule 37A. In that case, also it will be not form part of my uh, IMS. So whether there are any invoices where pending action is not allowed, either you will have an option only to accept it or reject it. You will not have an option of pending, taken pending action. Yes, there are some situations, there are some scenarios where pending action would not be allowed. Now we'll see what are all the scenarios. In case of original credit note, in that case, you have to accept it or reject it. You will not have an option to keep it pending. And upward amendment of credit note, irrespective of action taken by recipient on the original credit note. Whatever the action you have taken on the original credit note, if there is an upward amendment of the credit note, in that case, you have to accept it, reject it. You will not have an option to keep it pending. Similar way, the downward amendment of credit note, if original credit note was rejected by recipient, and the downward amendment of invoice or credit note where the original invoice not accepted by the recipient. If you have not accepted the original invoice, but later uh, that invoice has amended downward, in that case, you don't have an option to keep it pending. So you can see here such type of records where you don't find the pending action. Only you have an option only to accept it, reject it, or no action. Even if you mark the no action also, it will be deemed to be accepted. So it is also a part of, it is also accepted. It will be treated as accepted. So original and amended records in the same period. Let's say I have raised an invoice, and in the same period, I have amended it by way of GSTR 1A. So I have taken action. So whatever the action you have taken on the amended record, that is after amendment, only that will be considered. But before doing this, you have to act upon the original invoice. So before acting on amended invoice, ensure the original invoice is moved from pending to accept or rejected. That means you on original invoice, you have to take the accept or rejected action. Then only you can act on this amended invoice. So the original invoice in 1 month and the amended invoice in the subsequent month. In that case, what you can do? So in that case, recipient first has to take the action on the original invoice and file the 3B and take the action on the subsequent month. So this is how he can act on the amended records. So first we have to take the either accepted, rejected, and file his GST 3B. And then in the subsequent period, again this amended record will be in your IMS, and there you have to take the action. So what happens if a recipient rejects a record? If my recipient has rejected a record, let's say. So recipient rejects a record before filing GSTR 1 by the supplier. My supplier has rejected the yes, invoice rejected can be edited and supplier can file GSTR 1 with correct record. That means on 7th, let's say on 7th of this December, I have rejected it. What type of action my supplier can do? He can see the type of action I have taken on my invoice in his dashboard. My the invoice what I have taken action will be shown as a rejected. After seeing this, he will upload the correct record in his GSTR1 at the time of filing his GSTR1. So edited record will be made available in the IMS for action by the recipient. So after filing the GSTR1, again he can take the action on that record. So recipient rejects after filing of GSTR1 by the supplier. Yes. The recipient rejects after filing of GSTR1 by the supplier. So after filing of GSTR1, he has amended it. So in that case, what he can do? Amended record will be supplier can amend or add invoice or recorded in 1 year or in a subsequent month with correct record. So in the subsequent month, he can upload a correct document, or else he can amend it by way of GSTR 1A in the same if he wants to amend it in the same period, or he can amend it in the subsequent period in GSTR 1 of the subsequent period. So he can take the action. The recipient take the action on the amended record. So what if the rejection was marked erroneously by mistake? recipient has rejected the record. In that case, what he can do? Contact your supplier and ask him to re-upload the invoice or amend the invoice. In that case, again, that invoice will come to your IMS, and in IMS, you can take the action. So what about the GST to be for the quarterly taxpayers? Like how the GST to be generating, that is after Q+1, after the ending of the quarter. The same way, GST to be will be generated even now also. There are some FAQs, but we are running out of time to show you the demo how IMS can be complied by using the GSTZen software. Before moving on to the next slide, so I will take some questions before moving on to the taxation. Query one, Mohan Kumar has raised one query that since this has started from 1st October, how to deal with the ITC not claimed before 1st October? Uh, just a second. Second. Yes, since this has started from 1st October, how to deal with the ITC not claimed before 1st October? Are they also reflected in the IMS statement? No, sir. Only from the 1st October, whatever the invoices um, are providing by your supplier, only those invoices will come to your IMS. If the invoices are more than 500, so how to accept or reject it for outward supply, please suggest. In that case, portal has given option to download it manually, sir. In the Excel, you can download all those invoices, and based upon each GST invoice, or you have to search it manually by the invoice wise and take the action on those records. Or else, we recommend you to use the software to take the action. Yes. Query to after clicking on compute to be, can I manually make any changes in the ITC captured figures in my 3B return? Yes, as of now, 3B is allowing you to change the figures in your GST at 3B, but government has an intent to hard lock the GST to be. That means you cannot in future. That is actually last month they have issued one advisory that you cannot edit figures from January 25 onwards. But as of now, that is kept pending. How Gen will support bulk approval? Yes, sir. Definitely, that our tech team will show. Will walk us through the how you can use your GST Gen product to comply with the IMS. So now I'm handing over to Nikhil. He will walk us through how GSTZen can be used to comply with the IMS. So over to you, Nikhil. If there are any questions, I will take up in the end, sir. Meanwhile, you can post your questions in the chat box. So Nikhil,
Hey, hi.
yes.
Thank you, Jesus, sir. Is my audio clear from my end?
Yes, you are audible, but your screen is not visible.
Okay, give me a second, sir. Let me present my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, Nikhil, the audio is clear.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for confirming. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Nikhil.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Nikhil, we can
Thank you,
see.
sir. Okay, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. Nikhil this side from GSTZen. So I'll be helping you with the walkthrough of IMS tool from GSTZen end. And I shall be also happy to introduce that we had come up with the purchase versus IMS reconciliation, which is very much essential for your ITC compliance part with the IMS. That too, we had introduced in GSTZen software for the first time, and this very first demo where we shall be showing the complete end-to-end reconciliation process. So as you can see on the screen right now, this is the landing page of the GSTZen account which we had created. So this is the ID against which we had created dummy account. As you can see, we had added couple of GSTN or branches to the GSTN account. And while you start off with the software, you can add your branches here by clicking on Add New GSTN option. It shall be asking for the GST number. So once you enter your GST number, it shall be fetching the taxpayer name from the government portal, and you can update your taxpayer type, regular or ISD services. And once you save the details, the branches or the GST shall be available or visible in the GST platform. So let me proceed with one of the sample GST where we had already tried out our reconciliation for IMS services. So once you open your particular branch in the software, and this is how the landing page or individual branches looks like. So as you can see on the screen right now, we have three sections for report, reconciliation, and filing of your returns. So I'll just take another 1 minute to brief you on the same. So if you can click on download it, these are the couple of reports which is available from GSTZen side. The one which is available at the first is consolidated report for of your 1 versus 2A versus 3. And we also have the GST1 data available for the full year with and without invoices. And you can also download GST2A and 2B invoice supply record for full financial year, especially for your 3B filing needs as well as the reconciliation. And we also have provided you with the access to GST3B down report. And we have other couple of reports for e-waybill report, tax liability and ITC comparisons, and compliance report, and fully ITC 04 and electronic ledger report. And if you proceed with the reconciliation part, we do support a reconciliation for GST1 as well as 3B. And now we are come up with the IMS reconciliation tool, which will be available here shortly. Second, as you can see there, the reconciliation for GSTR1 is GSTR1 versus sales register without invoices, which is available here. And you can go with 2A versus 2A and 2B with your purchase record for the filing of your 3B returns. And if you are referring to the GST return part, yeah, various returns available 1, 1A, 3B, 9, and 9C. So I'll just proceed with the IMS tool for this particular GST number. So as you can see on the right hand side dictionary, we have an IMS dashboard section where you can access the same. So just click on the same and it shall give you the access to our IMS detail page. So I'll take a minute to brief you on the same. And for any newcomer who is very new to the platform, this is very much simple to understand and easy to access without any further help. So as you can see here, there are three sections. One is about, summary, and update actions. About section is about how do you proceed with the IMS tool as well as the IMS reconciliation. So as you can see here, there are 5 simplified steps for IMS reconciliation. One is uploading your purchase invoices to GSTZen account if in case you would like to proceed with the reconciliation of purchase with your IMS record, which is very optional. Like if in case if you would like to proceed with the reconciliation, you can upload it. Otherwise, you can refresh your IMS record from the government end. And one thing which I missed to refer here is that it is already logged in and connected to the government portal using OTP for the demo purpose, as it is very easy to access. Otherwise, you shall be provided with an option to log into the government portal using an OTP here. Once you click on here, you shall be generating an OTP against the registered number, and you can provide the same and get the access to the government portal. And once you click on refresh invoices and run matcher, it shall be reconciled with the purchase record which had already imported. I'll show you the upload part of the purchase record in the later stage. So once you do this, you shall be getting the record for the reconciliation. And one point here to note down is that if you're uploading your purchase record, you have to refresh the page once again to sync the data and get the latest reconciliation report. And three major actions which can be taken upon the software are for updating your actions. Like sir was referring to, we have four major actions: accept, pending, reject, as well as no actions, which can be taken upon in update action part. And again, we can push and save the record to the government portal by save changes by using this particular button, save changes. As well as, let's say you had already uploaded the record to the government portal and you would like to reverse it or you would like to reset the record, which can also be done through GSTZen portal. So I'll just try to help you with upload of a few of the purchase record for reconciliation. So we'll click on this upload purchase invoice option. It shall be taking us to the purchase history against this purchase history number. And as you can see here on the screen, we have an option to upload the purchase invoices. So on the screen, it is provided that you can either upload the record using an Excel or you can upload the record with the help of Tally. So here we shall be proceeding with the Excel part. So we'll just click on upload data through Excel. And we can see here there are two sample files provided for your reference. And again, there are two sample format as well as per this record. One is If you're having multiple line item level tax rate, you can select this format. Otherwise, if you have the normal format of your purchase register, you can go with the second format. And we would like to also note down one point here that if in case you're maintaining your purchase record in your own in your own way or in your Excel, we can also support to import that purchase record to GSTZen software. So I just show one sample for the reference purpose. It's taking a minute. Yeah. So this is one of the sample purchase register which is available in GSTZen. You can make use of this Excel sheet for uploading your purchase record, or as, like I mentioned, you can also go with your own format. You shall be filling up the details. Once the data is filled and saved in your system, you shall drag and drop here, or else you can click and upload that particular file. So I'll just select one of the sample file which is already prepared. We'll just click on open and upload this particular file to the GSTN portal. I shall be selecting the base format and we can upload purchase invoice using this push button. So once you click on upload option, there's an in-between stage, intermediate stage where you have to map. So basically, map is nothing but we suggest the system to pick up the record values as per the input provided in Excel. For example, you can see here that bold marked headers with asterisk mark are the mandatory headers which should be submitted for purchase. So again, supply GST number you have provided here. If in case you're providing this particular value in a different header in your Excel format, you have to select that particular column and you have to suggest the system to pick up the values. So I'll just hold on as has been already mapped. So you have to make sure that all the mandatory headers are mapped here. You can see here taxable is mapped. And when it comes to individual tax rate or GST tax rate, you can either provide the individual tax amount. So here I had picked up individual tax amount instead of GST tax rate. So all this mapping seems to be fine. I'll click on proceed file to upload. As you can see on the screen right now, we shall be getting an in between stage where you'll be able to see the summary of the purchase record that is being uploaded. So this summary will provide you the data which is already there in the Excel. You have to make sure that all the record has been input into the software properly. And here you can see that from the file under row number 4, there is an error with the taxable value that this is not a valid number as per the standard format. So you have to do the correction in your software and come back and re-upload the same. Right now you can confirm and save the entries for the reconciliation part. So we'll get back to the IMS dashboard. Yeah. So once the data has been uploaded, you can come back to the summary page. And before that, you have to make sure that all the invoices has been refreshed and fetched from the government portal. And you had run the matcher for the reconciliation purpose. So I just give the confirmation, I'll run the matcher. And you can see here on the pop-up, the data is being reconciled from the backend. And you can see and get the confirmation, the data is ready for the report to be worked upon. And when we proceed with the summary part, we shall be getting all the summary of the invoices that is there as per the portal based on the headers. And on the right hand side, we can see the actions which had already taken up on. So currently, we haven't taken any action on the invoices, which is why the no action tab shows 17 invoices under B2B, which is synced and referred from the government portal. And you can see the status of actions, actionables, accepted, rejected, and pending, which with zero nil values. And one point here to note down is that once you do the reconciliation, this summary shall be updated once you save the record to the government portal. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the right summary for the same. So we'll proceed with the update action part, where exactly we'll be working upon the reconciliation report. So when you come to the third tab, you'll be provided with a complete view of sideways comparison of your books versus the portal data. So if you scroll towards right hand side, as you can see on screen right now, there is a sideways comparison of invoices with respect to their taxable values and individual tax rate. And I'll brief you on the match type before proceeding with the actionables. So we have got three major match type. One is exact match, the other one is partial match, and there are no match. So what are exactly exact match? So you can see here against this particular invoice number ending with 842, we have the record as per portal as well as the books entirely same. So there is no need to work upon this particular record. Additionally, you can directly go ahead and you can accept the values against it, which I'll be doing it later stage. And when you come to the partial match, for example, this particular invoice ending with 139, you can see here that there can be a slight changes in the values that has been provided. So here, taxable values of 15,000 as per portal. And when it comes to books, there is a 1 rupee difference for the record, which is why we got the particular invoice and a partial match. And we shall be seeing one no match section as well, just for the reference. So if we come to this particular invoice ending with 138, you can see here the data is available as per portal. So I'll just highlight this particular invoice. So the data is there as per the portal. And if you scroll to the right and see from the books, there are no records reported in your books, which is why the reason it got bucketed into no match type. So this is how you identify the match type and you shall be able to work upon it. So currently you can see that portal action and current action has been set as nil, or we haven't taken any action upon it. Before proceeding with that, you can also work upon these particular filters to work like to individually see whether how many unmatched invoices are there or how many matched invoices are there as per the record which got reconciled. So I'll just click on show matched invoices alone. We shall be getting the matched invoices, which will also include the partial match type, because like we are seeing individually, there is this minute difference which we can go and accept in the later stage. And if you click on show unmatched invoices, these are the records which no match. So you shall be working upon them individually, and you can either reject it or you can check with your internal records and work upon it. And again, we have the filter wise view for the invoices. So let's say if you want to view and work upon one particular invoice, you can apply the filters and work upon it. And we also provided you the invoice type and portal action and current action wise summary. So invoice type summary will help you with the different differential view of all these invoices. Let's say you like to proceed with B2B invoices which are amended, or let's say or B2B invoices which comes under credit note. You can apply the filters and you can work upon it. So currently there are no records. So this will ease up your process in working upon them. And again, under portal action and current action, we have accept, reject, pending, and no actions available. So now let's go ahead and start working upon this particular reconciliation report. I'll just select couple of exact match from the report. So let's see how the system functions. So currently the invoices which I had selected from the checkbox are the one which is with exact match. So I'll just go ahead and set accept option to mark under current action as accepted from the GSTZen side. So here you can see here, once you select them and update it under set accept, you shall be able to see current action has been changed as accepted for this exact match invoices. And let's push the same to the government portal. So we'll just come again, we'll bulk select the same, and we'll just scroll towards upside, and you can see there is a save change button which you can provide you the action to update the same to the government portal. So you can see the current action and the updated action count-wise summary. So current actions of no action type, updated action is was accepted, which we just updated right now. We'll be pushing the same to the government portal. So you just give the confirmation here. So it'll take a fraction of second to get the same updated to the government portal site. So we'll see that. Wait for a minute. Yes. So we have got these particular invoices updated to accepted from the portal end. And again, we have the partial match type. Let's say you would like to keep them on pending, or you can let's say you like to keep them like, okay, let's go with pending only. So we'll just update it as pending for your reference. So it shall be updated as pending. And there are a couple of invoices which are under match type of no match. So what shall we do in this case? We shall keep them as rejected or we can keep them on pending. So currently, I'll show how the reject option works. So I'll just select them. We'll click on set reject option. You get the pop-up action that the data is being saved. So you'll get the current action updated as set rejected. So if in case you would like to, update the same to the government portal, you shall be selecting them again. You will come back to save change option. We'll be giving the confirmation for all these no action types, which as like I had selected both painting as well as the register cases to no action types. You can see the summary here, 3 plus 1. 1 second. Yeah, 3 plus 1. I'll give the confirmation. It'll take a minute to get this updated. So all that has been updated to the portal. Like, like you can see that it was under exact match, partial match, and no match. We had updated the action in Zen portal, GSTZen portal, as well as we had pushed the same to the portal action as well within a fraction of seconds. So let's say if in case you would like to reverse the process and get it nullified or keep it under no actions. So we'll select them as well. So I'll go with rejected one as well as the one which he had kept on pending. So I'm selecting all these four invoices. We'll scroll towards to the bottom of this particular page. We'll click on reset actions. And again, in the next page, top pop-up, it shall be asking whether you would like to proceed with resetting this particular record. So we'll give the confirmation to reset the record. And it will take another fraction of seconds to get the same updated. So right now you can see that all the record has been, which we have selected has been come under no action tab. So this is how basically you will be working upon the invoices based on the match type. And based upon your requirement, you shall be making use of these filters and you can individually as well as bulk-wise take action and work upon them. And I'll like to show one more thing before ending this demo part. Like we were discussing in the summary part, once you push the record to the government portal, it shall be updated. So let's see that as well. I'll just save data. Okay, I'll accept it first. And we will be saving the record to the government portal. Okay, yeah, had given the confirmation here. Okay, so the data has been pushed to the government portal that it has been accepted. And previously, the summary for these 17 invoices, you had seen the bucket and the no actions of 17 invoices. Currently, 2 invoices got accepted, and you shall be able to view the same here. So this is how you'll be able to refer to the record, which had already worked upon. So this ends the demonstration part of IMS tool as well as the IMS reconciliation from GSTZen side. Over to you, Jagdish sir.
Thank you, Nikhil, for that demo. I would request the participants to enter their questions in the chat. Our team from GSTZen and CA Jagdish is also here, so you can put your queries and we can address them right now.
Yes, Nikhil, there are many questions about invoices. If invoices are more than 500, what to do in that case? Can you please take up this question?
So we need to get a confirmation on the same, sir. Like Venus can help here answer this
Yes.
particular question.
Yes. As of now, there is no offline tool like GST1 to take the bulk action using the offline tool. You have to use the software like GSTZen to take the action if there are invoices more than 500.
Second, there is one question on how to do the bulk action. Now, there's an option to filter the records either by GST number or by vendor. You can select them in bulk, and either you can make them accept, or if you think very few are not to be accepted, you can select all, accept everything, and refilter those records which you want to reject and keep it pending. You can take the action in that way. So one has to apply how they want to do it, but bulk selection and filtering is also there. There was a question on pending action next month carry forward. If all those records which have not been kept taken any action, this would be carried forward to the next month. Offline tools, right now there is none. You have to download GSTZen, and you have to use the application which has an API. Maybe very soon the government would give you some offline tools.
For the bulk action, as you can see, I have selected to show only 10 invoices. But if you select the filter at the top, you can select all the filtered invoices and take action with the bulk invoices. So yeah, here you can see only 10 invoices, but as per the filtered selection, you can have 17 or like 500 or 1000 invoices and take the action at the action section. And that can get reflected and you'll be able to upload same to the portal.
Arun is asking, is there any option to see only partial match? When you see the match has multiple criteria. Some could be 100% match. Many could be a logical match. So the GSTZen has a fuzzy logic where even though you set a settings up to 100 rupees difference, even they would be marked to the match category. Utkarsh, anything you want to add to the parcel match?
As of now, there's no specific filtering for partial match, but that is something that is getting considered and will be implementing in the near future.
Thank you, Sumant. Yeah, maybe users can actually give your feedback as to what else you want. That can be considered. Please note, IMS do not have an option called amend. Either you can accept, reject, or keep it pending. You cannot change the invoice value from 100 to 1000 or vice versa. So, Mr. Arun, if you think that the invoice was erroneously uploaded by your supplier, you have to make sure that you reject it and they correct it back and upload a new invoice. Arun, maybe you can unmute and ask. I'm not clear with your question. In your purchase register, you can always edit. So
in invoice number, there might be a slash or something we might be uploaded in from the purchase register, but supplier would have uploaded with hyphen or something. Like if that changes will be reflect as a partial match, then that time we can amend or we can go inside the purchase register and we can edit that changes in IMS this matching screen itself, or we have to do in the purchase register upload itself.
Got it. So right now there is no facility given in correcting a record in the IMS reconciliation thing. You can delete the record from purchase register. You can re-upload your purchase register. Those facilities is there. So when you re-upload and rerun the match, again it will get matched. If there's a difference between hyphen and slash, even that get partially matched and it gets reconciled.
Because we have a lot of invoices with the partial match. That time we cannot segregate the exact match and partial match, and
We will
cannot
provide
edit
you,
one by one in this session. That's why we are asking.
Yeah, I got your question. What we will do right now, whatever you are seeing on the green, we will give you the filter with fully matched and partial match so that you can apply the filter. That is what Sumant mentioned, that we will give you a facility to make the partial match.
Okay, thank you, sir. I have one more doubt. Actually, we tried before uploading the purchase receipt for this month. Like last month, we filed 3B, and this month, after enabling this IMS in the GSTZen, I am existing user of GSTZen. Actually, we tried seeing this IMS session here, and we have not uploaded any new purchase register for the month of November. But even though I could see some lot of partial match invoices are reflecting here, that how I don't know.
Maybe we can take it offline and take a look. I have
Okay,
to look
that's
at
what I
your.
want to check with customer care. Okay, I will
Yeah,
take that
we
doubt
will get
separately.
in touch with you.
Yeah,
Please.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Done. So as Sumant mentioned, we'll give you an Excel download. In the Excel also, you will have an option to mark accept, reject, pending, and you press a button in the Excel. The same will be getting uploaded to GSTZen. We will give you multiple facility, both offline and online. So Ayushi has asked, can we get it any offline tool? We would be giving you one Excel offline version also. Yeah, I guess we have answered all the questions. So thank you, firstly, Jagdish, for walking us through the theory part of it, and Nikhil for showing how the portal has done, and Utkarsh for managing whole of the webinar, and Sumant giving the technical inputs. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, participants. And we will be having the IMS session, at least 2 more sessions again, because this is a little more important, and the future of the GSTR 1, 2, ITC and reconciliation will always revolve around IMS. And IMS is not more just only from the purchase side reconciliation. There is a outward side reconciliation. So in the next session, what we are going to give you glimpse on is how the actions taken by your customers, how would you need to see it in your sales register, and reconciliation of IMS and sales register is what we will be covering soon. So hope to see you again. And those who have not subscribed to GSTZen software and still using manually either to download the data, file GSTR returns or anything, do subscribe the application. Thank you.